An AirAsia passenger jet carrying 162 people to Singapore went missing off the coast of Borneo on Sunday, December the 28th, 2014, that morning shortly after leaving Indonesia, and 2 days of searching has turned up nothing. Shortly before losing contact with air traffic control, the crew sought permission to deviate from the planned flight path to avoid foul weather. The plane likely crashed and is now probably at the bottom of the sea, says the head of Indonesia's National Search and Rescue Agency, according to the Los Angeles Times. Flight QZ8501 took off from Surabaya Wanda Airport without incident at 5:35 a.m. local time Sunday, December the 28th, 2014, and was to arrive in Singapore 3 hours later. It headed west, tracking 329 degrees over the Java Sea, and reached the planned cruising altitude at 5:45 a.m. The crew made 2 slight turns, then at 6:12 a.m. contacted Jakarta Aircraft Control to say they were moving west of their course to avoid clouds, and asked to climb from a cruising altitude of 32,000 feet to 38,000 feet. The plane disappeared from radar a few minutes later. Djoko Widodo said of the Indonesian Transportation Ministry's acting director general, "The plane has lost contact at 6:17 a.m. local time." Djoko Widodo, the Indonesian Transportation Ministry's acting director general for air transportation affairs, told reporters the Airbus A320-200 disappeared from radar observations at 6:18 a.m., he said, and air traffic control officers monitored the presence of the plane until 7:55 a.m. The airplane's flight plan took it through cloudy, stormy weather. The New York Times reported that there were lightning strikes along the way, but the foul weather was nothing a modern airliner could not handle. The plane was traveling a busy corridor. 6 other aircraft were in the area when ground control lost contact with flight QZ8501, according to data from Flight Radar 24. Authorities had not, by the end of the day, which is Sunday, December the 28th, detected the distress signal and beacon that would be activated in an accident. "Therefore, we cannot assume anything yet," Widodo told reporters at a news conference in Jakarta, according to the Times. After finding no trace of the jet, the search was suspended Monday, December the 29th. That night, it will resume Tuesday morning, December the 30th, 2014, and will expand to land. The plane was flying over a busy shipping channel with shallow waters. Within an hour of the disappearance, Singapore had offered aircraft and ships to the Indonesian National Search and Rescue Agency. As the search went on, planes and ships from at least 3 countries were searching some 100 miles of the Java Sea near Belitung, an island between Borneo and Sumatra. The fleet included 3 warships and 5 planes from Indonesia, 3 boats and 3 planes from Malaysia, and a C-130 aircraft from Singapore. Australia also offered aircraft and ships to join the search. Singapore volunteered to send 2 teams of specialists and 2 sets of underwater locator beacon detectors to help Indonesian authorities with the effort. Now, authorities suspended the search as night fell, having found no sign of the aircraft. The search is to resume Monday morning, December the 29th. And CNN reported that ships in the area will stay out rather than return to shore with their searchlights illuminated. The plane's last known location over a shipping route in the relatively narrow Java Sea should make finding any sign of it easier if the plane did in fact go down. But still, the ocean is awfully big. Of the 162 people aboard flight QZ8501, 155 Indonesian, 3 are South Korean, 1 is British, 1 is French, 1 is Malaysian, and 1 is Singaporean. 17 children, including 1 infant, are among the passengers. The plane carried a crew of 7. AirAsia, which has changed the color of its logo from red to gray on its website and social media accounts, has established an emergency hotline for families and friends of those on board and opened a relatives holding area at Singapore's Changi Airport. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore has provided counselors and is arranging local accommodation and travel to Singapore from Indonesia for relatives of those on board. Meanwhile, at the airport in Surabaya, relatives wept as they waited for any word on the passengers. Some used phones to photograph a flight manifest posted on the wall. The documents provided the name and seat number of each passenger, but no word on their fate. Many sat crying. Thank you for all your thoughts and prayers. We must stay strong, AirAsia Chief Executive Tony Fernandez said on Twitter. The investigation will by default be run by Indonesia, where the plane is registered. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board could be invited to participate, and France's Bureau of Inquiry and Analysis for Civil Aviation Safety may play a role since one crew member is French. Finding the plane's 2 black boxes will be crucial to figuring out exactly what went wrong. The flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder will have information on a wide variety of aircraft parameters and what was happening in the cockpit in the final 2 hours of flight. AirAsia is a budget carrier based in Malaysia, one with a very good reputation for safety, according to CNN aviation correspondent Richard Quest. The captain of the flight has almost 7,000 hours of flight time with the airline and some 20,000 during his career, Fernandez said, according to BBC. Airbus said the plane had accumulated approximately 23,000 flight hours and some 13,600 flights, according to CNN. The disappearance of flight QZ8501 caps a devastating year for Asian aviation. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 vanished without a trace on March 8, 2014, en route to Beijing from Kuala Lumpur, with 239 people aboard. On July 17th, Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 was shot down over Ukraine, killing all 298 people aboard.